y'all, it's Mama Beth and I'm in the kitchen. I thought you might want to sneak peek at some of the sauce that I'm making. I'm not real great with this camera yet, so forgive me if my angles are off or if I'm a little shaky, but that's some good sauce. That was tomatoes and herbs and spices and onions not long ago. But yep, that's going in cans tonight. So there you go. That's what it looks like. And y'all got to see me make it. So come on my YouNow. When you see me, put me on your notifications. It's Mama Beth's World. And you'll get to watch me cook in the evening. And let me tell you, that's some good stuff. See ya. See you in a little bit. Bye. Hey y'all. It's Mama Beth and I'm in the kitchen again. And we're making sauce tonight. And I wanted to sit and talk to you and say thank you to everybody who came to my YouNow stream. I really enjoyed that while I was getting dinner ready, and I'll be doing that often. I think I'm gonna make that part of my routine. It was really nice to talk to everybody, and it gives me somebody to talk to other than the waiters while I'm waiting on my husband to get home and while I'm fixing dinner. But I had some wonderful suggestions from people, you know, with their questions today, and I've been thinking about different topics, and it's just everybody's been so supportive, and I really appreciate it. But if you want to watch me, I'm Mama Beth's World on YouNow. I'm Mama Beth's World on Twitter. I am mamabethsworld@gmail.com. I am Mama Beth's World pretty much everywhere, and of course I'm always Mama Beth's World here on YouTube. And you can come and find daily content. And I hope that with each one of my videos I give you some support and some understanding and touch on topics that you care about. And maybe you learn something, maybe not. Maybe you just want to listen to me while you're driving in the car. I don't know, but I hope you get something good out of this. I want to talk about what's on my shirt. Okay. Frankie says, if you're a child of the 80s, you remember this, and this is hard and I'm not getting all the way up, but Frankie says relax. And we don't relax. Who relaxes anymore? We've got the kids in school now. We've got everybody trying to meet deadlines to get the fourth quarter started, and it's really busy right now. And God help us, the Twitter drama and the YouTube drama and you name it. Even the Cash Me Outside girl's in drama. We're not going to talk about her. But anyway, everybody is very busy right now, and stress is a big thing. We have to learn the different kinds of stress and how to manage them. There's positive and there's negative stress. Positive stress is when, say, you're getting excited about, oh, getting a new car, or you're playing a game, winning a board game, or playing a game on TV, and it's good stress and it's getting all of that out. That's positive stress, and your body responds accordingly to it. Exercise is positive stress. Okay, that's good for you. Now the negative stress, we got to talk about that. Negative stress can come from pretty much anywhere. It can come from your job, your kids, the love of your life, you know, your spouse, your parents. It can come from being sick. It's all sorts of places that we get stressed from. And a lot of things happen when we get stressed out. It wears on our organs. It can cause high blood pressure, cause heart attack, stroke. You can die from the effects of stress. So I want to talk about some ways to manage stress. And the big thing that I always say to people when they're dealing with stressful situations and they're not happy and they don't feel like they have any way to get it out is, don't get sad, get mad. Get mad. Yeah, I tell people all the time, I'll say, you know, make ice cubes, make some good size ice cubes, you know, make a bunch of them, and then go get you a golf club or a baseball bat, take them outside where they're not going to hurt anybody, and whack the shit out of them. Just knock them. They explode. It's beautiful, actually. If you do it in the sun, you're like, woo! You know, diamonds are everywhere, but they don't go anywhere. They don't hurt anybody, and it will get rid of your immediate stress. If you're really pissed off and you're just ready to blow your top, get the ice cubes out. Get the ball bat. And if you get the ball bat and the golf club, please just choose it on the ice, okay? Another thing that you can do, is somebody suggested this and asked me if I did this, and I know people who do. They go buy all these old plates and old crockery, you know, and they'll go to, you know, auctions, estate auctions, or you might go to Goodwill or someplace like that where you can get them like $1 for a big box of them. I've seen people do this. And go down in your basement. Go somewhere where there's a concrete wall where nothing can hurt. Put you some safety glasses on. Put you some shoes on, and just smash the shit out of all of it. Just take it plate by plate and fling it. Fling it up against the wall. And then when you're done, sweep it all up. No harm done. But you'll feel a lot better. Sometimes you just got to get physical. And with bad stress, it can build and build and build. And you have to make the decision. I don't care who it is in your life that's making you upset or what situation it is. You choose whether you're going to fix it and make a difference, or whether you're going to stay like that and keep being stressed until you explode. You can choose to let it out like firecrackers, where it doesn't really hurt anybody. You know, firecrackers, you can throw a firecracker in the middle of the yard, it won't do anything. But if you let that build up and you get too much stress, it's like letting off a nuke. You're going to do some damage. You're going to do damage to yourself, and you could do damage to others. And you need to know the difference, and you need to realize when your stress is building up that, you know, hey, I need a breather. I need a break. Now, exercise is a great way to get rid of stress. It also helps with depression. It also helps if you have fibromyalgia. If you have RA or any of the other, you know, debilitating chronic illnesses that have to do with your joints and whatnot, you have, like, I have to do low impact exercise. But before I was diagnosed, I used to dance and, you know, sometimes 6-8 hours a day. Hard going. You know, when you're in prep for a musical, it's a hard road to hoe. But yeah, I used to go at it pretty hard, and I felt really good after, and I'd sleep good. But now that I'm older and I have this to deal with, I have to do low impact. But 30 to 40 minutes, 3 times a week is what they say you need. Now, when you exercise, the reason that it helps with depression and with stress, I'm going to get scientific here. I had anatomy. My father's a science professor, and I used to sit in on his classes. And I passed anatomy and physiology with a 99 and ruined the curve for everybody. But when you've been sitting in a class for years listening to the same material, you know what you're doing. And my dad wasn't my professor, by the way, for anatomy and physiology. He was my chemistry professor, and he was awful. He was hard. But my brother had to have him too, and my daughter had him as a teacher. So we've all 3 gone through my dad's classes, which is kind of cool. One of the best exercises that I found, if you can do it, is like boxing, MMA, swinging a bat to hit a ball, anything like that where you're going and you have contact, but you're using your mental ability as well as your physical ability. And you want to get those endorphins going, because endorphins, when you hear people talk about endorphins are this really cool, it's a really cool chemical that you release when you're exercising, and it gives you kind of like, you've heard of a runner's high? It acts like morphine on the brain. It hits those receptors, and it reduces your pain, you feel better, and it also helps you sleep. And you can't get addicted to that kind of an opioid type chemical. So exercise gets those endorphins going out. There are also some other hormones, and I'm going to go over them, that are affected by exercise. Your insulin is slowed, so you start burning the sugar that you have in your system. Like if you're diabetic, exercise is a great way to get your blood sugar down, your blood glucose down, and it also starts because your body is like, oh, we got to burn this up, and then other chemicals come in to release the fat, and that brings your blood sugar up, but you keep burning it. So insulin is stopped. Glucagon, that signals the fat release, so you can burn it instead of, you know, like a simple sugar, any of the carbohydrates or whatever's in your system. So the glucagon makes the fat go psh. Cortisol is a catabolic steroid hormone, comes from the adrenal glands, and it boosts your metabolism. And it doesn't just boost it during the exercise, it boosts it for hours after. So when you exercise, you're still losing weight, even after you exercise. That's why you need to do it. It's really good for you. It also, the cortisol it boosts your metabolism, and it also breaks down your fat, and it can also break down your protein. Like if you've got too low of a body fat, if you're real thin, like if you're, they don't want women, I think, to go under 10%, and the lowest that a man should go, I think, is like 3 or 4% body fat. So be real careful if you're thin. You know, make sure you eat enough calories to exercise and exercise healthy without losing your proteins in your muscle, because your muscle's protein. Now, you got epinephrine and norepinephrine. Epinephrine's real cool. It's called adrenaline. Okay? They're amine hormones, I never know how to pronounce that, but they get your body amped up. Epinephrine is your go-go juice. That's the good stuff. And it makes your heart work well. It makes it work harder and gets your lungs to working well. It boosts everything, gets it going. Norepinephrine does the opposite. It slows things down, but there are parts of your body that you don't need to use as much when you're exercising. Like, say, maybe your kidneys, your bladder, you know, ovaries, you just different parts that, different organs, different systems that you're not using as much when you're working out. And so the norepinephrine slows all that down so you can function better. It's kind of cool the way they work. Then you have testosterone. Now, both women and men produce testosterone. It's produced in the ovaries and the testes. Smaller amount in women, but that's what makes you build muscle. Okay? Steroids, testosterone is a steroid, and it's a natural steroid, but that's why you see people get in trouble. Weightlifters and sports figures, they get in trouble when they take steroids. Testosterone is a natural steroid that builds the muscle. You take steroids, you build more muscle, like the artificial ones. Not good to do. Don't do that. Then you have human growth hormone. Human growth hormone is a peptide, and it's really cool. It builds muscle. It also makes your bones stronger. It mineralizes your bones. So when you do intense exercise, and it has to be pretty intense for HGH to be released, you're not only building muscle, but you're strengthening your bones. And we also produce that when we're in REM, in REM sleep. And REM sleep is when, if you don't know, if you've ever watched somebody sleep and you see their eyes going back and forth like that, they're in their REM cycle. And that's when human growth hormone is produced. And it's real cool. The insulin-like growth factor, IGF, that's released at the same time as HGH is. And it's a peptide. It's produced in the liver, and it builds and repairs muscle. Now, when you exercise a lot, and stretch your muscles, and, you know, like dancers stretch and you'll be sore, aside from building up lactic acid in your muscle, if you do anaerobic exercise, which means, anaerobic means without oxygen. You're not getting enough oxygen in your system to move it through. But exercise, when you're building muscle, you get teeny little microscopic tears. And your body comes in and repairs them. It's kind of like this, your muscle, say my hands are muscle, and you do a lot of exercise and stretching. Well, the muscle's like that. Well, something has to come and your body builds it together, but it puts basically like in between my fingers, and it makes it bigger and bigger. So your muscles grow. It's really neat how that works when you exercise. So that's what fixes everything. It makes your muscles bigger, but it does any repairs that are necessary. It's really it's amazing how the body works, let me tell you. There are two things left that happen when you exercise. You have the brain-derived neurotropic factor, and that's a neurotransmitter and it makes your brain grow, basically. You get better cognitive skills, better cognition, because every day that we live, our brain dies off. Those transmitters, the neurons and the receptors, they get old. They die. Well, our body has to make more. Otherwise, the brain shrinks, and we have organic brain disease, we have Alzheimer's. Dementia is usually when your brain has quit making it as fast, and it's really sad. So exercise stimulates brain growth, and you will be able to read faster, you'll be able to think faster, you'll be better on your feet if you're exercising. That's why people who are very successful always put exercise in their schedule, at least 3 times a week, 30 minutes to 40 minutes. Okay, and the last thing, and this is my favorite because this is what I deal with. If you're depressed, exercise, because that serotonin will get released. Now, serotonin is a chemical that is in your brain, and it makes you feel good. It's what a lot of people with clinical depression, well, it's if you've got clinical depression, your brain isn't making enough serotonin. And that's why you'll have medications, and we have SSRIs, we have SRIs, and I could go into all that, but I'm not going to, because this is already enough medical knowledge for anybody to listen to in one night. So your depression waves, you'll find that anxiety is easier to handle, stress is a lot easier to handle. When you don't have enough serotonin, your stress can build a lot faster. So exercise is one thing. Also changing, making things that are giving you a lot of stress, change it. If your job makes you miserable, find a new job. There are jobs out there. Figure out what it is that you want to do, and go for it. If you hate your boss, find another job in the same field if you like the field you're in. If your kids are running you to death, ask for some help. You know, if you're arguing with your partner and you're not in a good relationship, that, from what I see, is the #1 stress factor, is having somebody that you love but you can't communicate with. Now, you need to talk to your partner, man, woman, whatever, husband, wife. You need to communicate. And if you're stressed and you're snapping at each other, that's not good. You need to figure out whether you can work on it, or perhaps whether you need to leave. Okay? Because you're important and you're special, and you deserve to have someone in your life who takes care of you just like you take care of them. Okay? Now, I want you to be proactive, and don't get sad, get mad. Proactive, don't get sad, get mad, and exercise. And then the last thing, this is something that I do when I'm tired. When I'm done with my cooking and cleaning, and you know, I've worked and, you know, done everything else, I read. I love to read. I could read. I could do nothing but read. In fact, if I had my druthers, I would have been a book editor, because I'm one of those people that goes through the book and finds all the misspelled words, or I will read it and I'll find the facts are wrong and I'll be like, no, and why didn't you end it like this? And, you know, and I write a lot. I write essays, I write children's stories. I'm working on I've got 2 books about done, and then I've started on another one, and, you know, I haven't finished those 2. And, you know, but I like to write. I do it for fun, and, you know, who knows, maybe one day I'll publish. But I do it because I love it, and it relaxes me, writing, but reading. From the time I learned to read really young. And I remember being 6 and 7 years old and just eating up a book. You know, and reading it several times because I enjoyed it so much. But I want to give you some suggestions. If you like to read like I like to read, I have read, if Philippa Gregory, she wrote all of the Tudor Women series. If you've been watching it, they have, I think, it's the White Princess, and they've started the series on Showtime or Stars. I can't ever remember. But anyway, she's written a ton of books, and I've got all of them. And it's the White Princess, the Women of the Cousins' War, the Virgin's Lover, you name it. But then I'm a member of the Kindle Amazon Prime thing, so you can get free books every month. Now there's 2 that I'd like you to take a look at if you're in that club. It costs like $9, and you get free books every month. I got 2. I got one because Wendy Williams mentioned it today, Down in the Dirty by J.M. Benjamin. It's supposed to be real good. It's crazy. And then I started another one that I found called The Designer, and it's by Marius Gabriel. And it's set in post-World War II Paris with an American couple, and the woman meets Christian Dior. And it talks a lot about fashion, and it's all girly stuff that I like, so I enjoy it. But I read, and that's what helps me sleep at night. I'll read before I go to bed. And if I have a time out during the day, sometimes I'll just read. I'll just be like, I've got to escape and go into the story. So be proactive and do what you've got to do, okay? Make the changes in your life necessary. Do the things you need for stress relief. Exercise, reading, you know, hitting ice cubes, do whatever you've got to do. But take care of you, because you are precious. There's only one of you. Remember, can't get another one. All right, this is kitchen talk. This is how moms talk and grandmas talk in the kitchen. You're precious, and you deserve everything to go well for you and to live a happy life. And lowering your stress level will do that for you. So I'm done preaching. I feel like I get on here and y'all probably think, oh, she's a know-it-all, and I'm not. I'm just sharing things that I've learned and that I think are important. And I hope that I can give you some support, a little bit of comfort and understanding, and give you some suggestions on how to relax, because Frankie says relax. And you know, you can have a really good life, but you're in control of it. You be in control of your life. Now, I'm going to get back to this because I've got to get this sauce ain't going to can itself. And I love you, and you love yourself, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.